the latest headlines, weather updates, traffic, and everything in between.
From 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday, only on TV47. Shiksha Arora, Stanley Nyaringita, and Fred Indemuli. This is Morning Cafe, hotter than your coffee.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you. Let's have our seats. Habari za asubuhi. Salimia jirani. At least nikisema habari nijibiwe. Habari za asubuhi. Machakos, habari za asubuhi. Mwati ndata. Mko wazima? Karibuni sana kwa UDA Comrades Town Hall, Lower Eastern Session. I'd like us to go to introduce our panelists and then get into a conversation right away. On the extreme end is a comrade, Sharon Mukai from Technical University. Just wave. She will be speaking for comrades and fielding questions on that end. Then we have got Mr. Haron Kertich, NEA from the National Employment Authority. Then we have got Mr. James Maina, the Director, National Housing. We have Professor Machuki, and a member of the Presidential Council of Economic Advisors. Then we have got the home girl, PS, Madam Terry Mbaika, PS Devolution. I have with me Madam Faith Nora Lukosi, Director, Youth Fund. And then Madam Magdalene Kivi, Assistant Director, Livestock Policy, will be sitting in for the PS Livestock. Thank you very much. So, having done the introduction, we'll give each and every panelist a question, first of all. I'll start from Professor Machuki. Before we have got any conversation, it will be very important that pass the microphone for me. You can share the other one to the extreme end. Professor, we are here for students. Before we say anything, the elephant in the room is the new funding model. It's of course in court. So in 3 minutes, I'll allow you to just take us through the new funding model, why it's necessary, and why we are where we are today.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Thank you very much, Bwana Moderator. The UDA party leadership, spearheaded by the Secretary General, Mr. Omar Hassan, PS Devolution, and all protocol observed. It is a great moment to be here so that we can engage with comrades. And I sit here to make clarification that as the Council of Economic Advisors for the President, we are the think tank for the President in terms of policy processing. And as you all know, the President is a champion of transformation, and that is why he wants to change the lives of everyone through the key principle and priority in the Kenya Kwanza bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is inclusivity. Among the aspects in society that require equity is provision of education that heralds the hallmarks of inclusivity. In that frame, within the better plan, education is earmarked as an enabler to ensure that everyone at the bottom of the economic pyramid is brought on board. At the very beginning and over time, students or children from humble backgrounds have far too long been excluded from accessing university education. Not only university education, but they have also been marginalized in the provision and access of basic education and also tertiary education. Upon analysis of the developments and policy mechanisms, as well as different programs in the education sector, for those of you who have gone through different reports that have been produced by different education commissions since independence, the issue of access, the issue of financing of education has been a thorny issue. And therefore, when the Kenya Kwanza administration took office, among the issues that were of concern was financing higher education, but most importantly within the entire realm of education reforms. And we are also aware that the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms engaged several stakeholders in different counties and were given a number of proposals on issues around implementation of competence-based education in Kenya through the competence-based curriculum. And therefore, among the issues that were of concern was university financing. At that point, a number of universities were having issues with regard to delivery of quality education because of funding. And what came about were two things. One, in terms of offering quality education, it will boil down to the programs that are being offered and the cost that is incurred in offering those programs. Number two is with regard to access by everyone who qualifies, then the exclusion of those who are at the bottom of the economic pyramid to have access to financing. So, in assessment of the previous funding model that is commonly called the differentiated unit cost, it was established that government was required to fund 80% of that differentiated unit cost, whose arrival at the cost of offering a program was not conclusive, it was not comprehensive. The differentiated unit cost considered some parameters that will then be aggregated to come up with an average cost of offering a program and not the exact actual cost. So that averaging left out a number of aspects that will go into the exact cost of the program, which will also go into the quality of delivery of that program. For example, a student who is undertaking medicine will require different facilities, the quality of the professors, the facilities in hospitals to be able to take clinical practice and so forth and so on. Same thing to the student who is doing law, the student who is doing economics, the student who is doing Bachelor of Commerce. The programs will cost differently and also depending on the universities. Now, when that was looked at, it was then argued that it is important to come up with the exact cost of offering the program. Because government is mandated to provide public goods to its citizens, education is among the public goods that government is supposed to offer to its citizens. But most importantly, to all citizens, regardless of the social class, regardless of the economic status. On that front, therefore, it was a concern that was brought on the table, and it was also advanced by the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms, that we need to look at how university funding can be modeled. The previous funding was a grant to universities called capitation, and it was never found out that the students who are admitted to Machakos University, for example, the number will be established, and it was combining that once a student is admitted or picked by CUSPs and is admitted through government regular program, the funding will then be going to the university based on the number of students, but not considering the exact cost of the programs each student is taking. That is one. So, in the new funding model then, we said let not the placement be linked with funding. Because here is the university that receives capitation, because the university has a vote in treasury, and therefore you will find that every course which costs differently, it is funded at the same level, at the same rate, by way of capitation. The second aspect that we also looked at is that this funding is a differentiated unit cost, which means it doesn't take into account the exact cost. The new funding model, upon analysis, we noted that let us use a mechanism that will demonstrate the real need for a particular student in terms of determining the level of need by a way of the means testing instrument. So, what then happens is that when a student receives an admission letter from a university, the real cost of that program that you have been admitted for is indicated. And you are advised that you actually can apply for financial assistance from government. Either you apply for a loan, you can apply for scholarship, you can apply for bursary. Now, the real issue that was a concern is students from humble backgrounds and the students from backgrounds that are able will access funding the same level. So Omar Hassan here, who comes from a well-off family, and Machuki here, who comes from a very humble background, you will be receiving same funding. That means without looking at your economic power and your social background, that old funding model discriminates, does not give you equity so that you both access. So the new funding model went in to start assessing the levels of need of the applicants. So on that basis, therefore, when a student receives a letter of admission, you are advised to apply. In the previous model, whether you apply or not, funding goes to the university through capitation. This new funding model, you are the one to exhibit, to demonstrate your level of need for funding. How did we come up with the determining the level of funding? That is where it's a major contention. And we used the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics data 2020, and we found out that households are classified depending on their economic annual income of a year, and we found that the lowest is 5,000 and below, and the highest is 120 and above. We used those clusters to then band students according to the annual incomes. But not only that, we then will ask students will be required to indicate particular data, particular information during their application. So when the information is received, the system then analyzes and categorizes you and places you at a particular level of need. So at the very low level is where you have very humble background, the most vulnerable. Government will give you the highest percentage of scholarship, the lowest percentage of loan, and the contribution from household is very minimal. As you graduate, as you find those who come from able families, able backgrounds, the government will still fund you according to your level of need, but will give you a higher percentage of the loan, the lower percentage of scholarship, because the loan is higher because being able, you will be able to repay. The scholarship is free, and there is what we called the bursaries that will also come along that point. But the household contribution for the higher band is also high. So, when you look at the entire rationale behind the new funding model, it's actually one, to bring on board equity in terms of access of finance, equity in terms of access to quality education, because now universities are able to fund their facilities and equipment for those programs that require extra equipment to provide those programs. So, at the very broad policy level, the rationale was to ensure that university education is fully funded, adequately, not fully, but adequately funded, regardless of the source of the funding. Government takes a bigger chunk, but households will take a proportion that is concomitant with your economic power.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I allowed the professor to run all that because that is where we start, because it's about you, the comrades. Comrades power. Hapa kuna power. Comrades power. Now, very quickly, I'll be bringing in my co-moderator, Gitonga, to ask a question to the PS. But before he does that, I'd like just to acknowledge a few people who are here. I have got the Secretary General of the party. He will also be helping me field questions later on. SG tafadhali simama tu. Niruhusu tu this time ni introduce. He is around. Also in the house, we have got the Executive Director, Mr. Bore. He will also be saying hi to you guys later on. We have got a Deputy Director, Higgins Mbugu, around here. We have got a Director of Public Communication from the Office of the Government Spokesperson. He will be fielding questions for you guys later on. I have got with me here the President of the Comrades UDA chapter. Brian, please stand up. Wasituulize tuko na ghost worker. You are here, you will be here dealing with that. And there are so many other waheshimiwa around. I'll be coming back to you, they'll deal with you. I've taken that bit so that then you understand that we are full house. Then it's important when you go to people's homes to actually recognize them. We have got the UDA Finance Director here. Unajua nisiposema hiyo labda sitalipwa. So, Mlili, tafadhali, salimiana. Then the man who actually makes these programs run is Director Kipto, Daniel Kipto, wherever you are. My eyes are missing you out. Tafadhali simama. Pigia yeye makofi pale. Then we've got a number of UDA staff around here. Hao wote watahakikisha tuende vizuri. Gitonga, please take care of the PS here.
Thank you, sir. I just want to pose a direct one to the PS, Madam Terry. What is the place of these comrades in devolution? Do we as comrades have a place in devolution?
Thank you very much, Gitonga, SG and team, and the comrades from this region. Good morning. Good morning once again. I must say something about what my friend Machuki here has been talking about, and this is in regards to the funding model. The reason you are here, it's not because of yourself. You are the ambassador going forward to the many of our young people in the universities who have not gotten an opportunity to listen to this kind of a conversation. So it is not for you to keep this information, and I think we'll be having an opportunity to post questions, maybe for clarity, for more information, so that we take this back home. We have been around and we have had many questions, young people trying to ask. Number two is on the question by Gitonga, the space of the young people in devolution. All the government, let me start by saying the 2010 Constitution gave us a devolved system of government. And this involves taking powers and resources to the lowest of the people. And that is why we have our 47 counties. And everybody in this republic is coming from a county. So what opportunities are there for the young people? Just to start you off, all the government initiatives and programs happening are being implemented at the county level. So we don't work in isolation as national, as county government. And one of the roles of this State Department, rather the ministry then, is to enable proper intergovernmental relations. The two levels of government working together harmoniously. Number two is for the national government, is the role or mandate of the national government to build capacities for our county government. And the other one is on policy on devolved system of government. And that is exactly what we do each and every other time. The youth, because the conversation we are having now is the young people who are giving us the direction. There is a lot, you have the energy, you have the brains, you have a lot of space. Only if we explore local economic and job creation. Look at the agriculture, which is one of our key priority areas as a government, as an administration. The counties are developing the aggregation centers, the KIPES. If you have been able to follow what the government is doing, because we perish because we lack information. What do we go out of our way to know what opportunities are there in this government? We have cheap financing for startups. What have you done? Have you gone out of your way as a young person? The digital space. That is where we are as young people. Have we explored what is there? I've seen the president, we are aware. We were here in Machakos. Some young people in a technical institution here making a lot of money out of the digital space. What are we doing? Are we just doing a lot of politics with our phones, with the little bundles we have? Are we looking, when the president talks about the digital economy? Because, just to be clear to you and specific to you, nobody's going to do it for you. You will have to be there to do it yourself. What government is doing is facilitating you. That is why one of the main things this government is doing is ensuring that even at the local levels, we have connectivity. Maybe we are not 100% there, but this is work in progress. The digital hubs, the public Wi-Fi, the fiber connectivity. What are the young people using this for? I know we like politics, which is good. I'm a politician on my other side. But then, what does it bring on the table, Gitonga? Some people, I tell my people of Kaiti, you're talking about Terry from morning to evening. I actually do not get time to go through the charts, all of them. That is a very great opportunity for you to use to see what then can I use this space better, rather than singing that praise of Terry. I like it, you know. We love it when you people do that. But those are the spaces we have that we can use to grow ourselves and as young people. The space around education and skills development. Every county, the government is in the process of ensuring the TVET institution is the in thing, giving skills to the young people. It is a fact which we never want to hear. All of them will not be in these white-collar jobs. What are we doing to be the employer that you are looking for to be employed? You are that person who can get another person a job. Why? Because you have gotten the skill and you need 2-3 people to help you grow your small business, to grow yourself, to be that employer you have been looking for. And the environment has been created for you. And this is not happening just at the national. The counties are doing exactly this. The devolution of power and resources. So the counties are offering a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities for young people, but only for those who leave the crowd and go looking for it. Are we together? So it is us who have gotten this opportunity to be in school, to be a graduate, to get opportunity for those who have not. And that is why even the new funding model is coming in place. Why? Because it's a very small percentage which have been able to get an opportunity to be in school, to learn, and get where we are. And those others who have not, the hustlers now, the real hustlers, are looking up to us, those who have gotten the opportunity to get them opportunities also. So we need to work closely with our county government, participate in governance issues, public participation. What are we doing? Trainings on governance.
Not really. You think it's a technical challenge? Yeah. You can use another mic.
So I know I've said a lot, but let me just conclude by saying the other thing we need to look, which is very personal, is basically on our mental health. And I think it's a conversation which has not been focused and is affecting a lot of our young people. So we honestly need to be nice to ourselves. Drugs and substance abuse, of what benefit is it? Parents are struggling so hard for you to be where you are, because I think this is a forum for comrades, university students. Drug abuse is rampant in our institutions. This is very personal, my friend, because nobody is going to give you whatever you smoke or whatever you inject yourself or what you do to them. But what is the future? What do you want out of it? So we need to be very clear, and this is a conversation around the universal health. Mental health is at the center of it, and for the sake of you, your family, your parents, and your family to come, take care of your mental health. Let's talk, let's find a friend, find somebody who can guide you, can talk to you, so that you don't find yourself in a situation you cannot reverse. Because it is happening in a big way, but it starts with the small things we take for granted. Peer pressure. Your friend is smoking weed, and you say, I want to try. Nasikia uko hai, kesho unaongeza ya pili. So let us take care of ourselves. Let us have groupings where we talk. Because life is never easy. Even for the people you think they are doing very well, they are struggling. And then structures, just to digress, during the Gen Z protest, we said we are formless, we are leaderless. That is not the way to go, and especially for the people I meet, the young people, we must be structured. If we were structured maybe during that time, today we'll be talking of a different conversation. Because we know how to engage. I'm happy, Gitonga, I saw you in KICC when the president was meeting the comrades also. We need to be structured so that we have a way of communicating. So thank you very much. The counties are there for you, 47 of them. Here we have 3, Makueni, Kitui, and Machakos. Let us knock those doors. What do you think you can do? As a department, you have also resource mobilized. We are implementing a program of World Bank, $150 million to capacity build, to improve on service delivery and accountability. So don't participate because you are paid 500 shillings to be in a public participation forum. Participate because you want to add value. You have some input, because the next conversation around our development, around leadership, it will be shaped by the young people of this country. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Panelists, we have got about 40 minutes, and then we go to taking questions. I'd love you to use the next minutes prudently. Sharon, in Kenya Kwanza and at UDA, we know and we appreciate the fact that we might not always prepare the future for young people. But we can prepare our young people for the future. As a young woman in leadership, what would you really love government and people in authority to do for you so that you are able to thrive and come to bear fruits?
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. First of all, I'll appreciate the fact that the government is giving the young women a chance to be able to express themselves and speak out, and also inclusivity, like the fact that we have Terry Mbaika, who is the PS for Devolution, and the chair for UDA, who is Cecil Mbarire, governor of Meru, shows that the government at least cares. Yes, we face some challenges getting there, like bullying, mostly the online bullying. I'd like the government to do something about it. I really don't know what, but I feel like there is something they can always do. There is something they can always do. Yeah, because that is one of the challenges that the women in leadership face.
Thank you very much. You are very brief. You are just worried about bullying?
Yes, but I'd like to encourage the young women here and also the ones who are viewing in the televisions to take up these spaces and to express themselves. Yes, there are challenges, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. And I'd like to encourage each and every one of us who is here to not shy away from expressing ourselves, because this government is a listening government, and it's only through dialogue that our needs will be heard and it will take action.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And the government is a listening government, and I believe that we should also reciprocate by listening. There exist a lot of opportunities. We've just been told of $150 million US. Some of it in Sheng we call it Java, but there's something called Youth Fund. No, it actually exists, but due to the fact that as youth sometimes we probably throw the baby with the bathwater, we do not get the opportunity to benefit from this. And so the Youth Fund, as Madam said, there is the Youth Fund. We would like you to explain to us as Comrades how we can access the Youth Fund and how the terms and conditions thereof of the Youth Fund, and actually tell us if it's something that exists so that the comrades may be happy.
Comrade power. So the Kenya Kwanza government is very deliberate on financial inclusion and access to credit facilities for young people, to support young people in commercializing their ideas and transforming themselves from job seekers to job creators. As you can see, there is a very big challenge of unemployment in the country, and we are looking at young people being the innovators, the idea creators, the challengers of the status quo as the solution to this challenge of unemployment in the country. So Youth Fund is a state agency under the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and Creative Economy that has the sole mandate of supporting youth enterprises. We support youth enterprise development with affordable credit facilities, with training, market linkages, and mentorship support. So in terms of affordable credit facilities, we have individual and group loans for young people. In terms of group loans, all we need is a registered group and a bank account. And I want to tell you for a fact before I proceed, Youth Fund, Sioux Stories Ajaba, Gitonga has asked me to clarify on that. Youth Fund exists. Here in Machakos, we are just here next to Stemara Hotel. I'm happy that the venue favors our office. Our office is just next to Semara Hotel. When you leave outside on the right-hand side, you will see Youth Fund offices. And I'm accompanied here by the credit officer of Youth Fund, Machakos County. He's called Maurice Muia. I've brought him here specifically because I want us to have an impactful conversation. After this, you can pick up further communication with him on issues that I will not have addressed. So with group loans, all you need is to just have that group and a bank account. Come with your business proposal, then we will fund you. And once you get the money, we give up to 100,000 for the first loan. Once you get the money, I know the question is, how can I manage my business while I'm still in the university? You don't have to be the ones running that business. Muia was sharing with me there are some youths who formed a group and they have started a business, a tuk-tuk business. Youth Fund has funded them tuk-tuks that are running here in Machakos. So you don't have to be the ones running that business. We give you that money, then you are able to get someone you hire, you can supervise during your free time, but you continue with your studies. You get something to sustain you while you are studying, while you are running a business, and also creating job opportunities for other young people. So you don't need collateral with group loans. Then we have individual loans. Individual loans, you can take up to 2 million the first time, and with this you need security. You can actually get a security from another person. If you don't have, you can get security. You can use your parents' collateral. So you can take up to 2 million. And the beauty with our loans, both group and individual loans, is that the interest is very low. For group loans, they don't attract any interest, it is zero. I'm sure most of you have interacted with most fintech companies that are issuing loans, even the banks. And you know that they are very exorbitant interest rates. But with Youth Fund, the group loans have zero interest. The individual loans attract 8% interest, which is still the lowest in the market. And also, our group loans graduate up to 3 times. Once you have taken the first time and you have repaid, that loan can graduate up to 3 times. You take 100,000, next time you can take 300,000. The third time you can take 900,000. So it keeps graduating depending with your credit history. In addition to affordable credit facilities, we also offer business development. We know most of you might have ideas, but you don't know how to actualize that idea, how to put it down into a business plan. So we help you. We have training for those who want to take up our loans. Even if you just have an idea, don't shy away from coming to our office. We will help you in putting that idea into a business plan, then we can fund it. So we do business development support. And in terms of business development support, we also offer market linkages. For those who have taken our loans, once your product is ready for the market, we can also help you to get the market for those products. Then we also have LPO financing. We realize that there is a law for AGPO which requires 30% of tenders to be reserved for young people, women and people with disability. But it has always been a challenge for these special interest groups to participate actively and meaningfully in the tendering processes. So for us at Youth Fund, we support young people who want to take part in government tenders by financing up to 70% of the LPO. And if you are wondering how you can get the government tenders, first you need to have a registered business. You can register this business on your own. You don't have to to get a lawyer to help you register. You can go to eCitizen and then you register your business either as a business name or as a company. And once you have a certificate, you visit the next Huduma Center, you get your ACPO certificate. Once you have the ACPO certificate and the registration certificate for your business, you can approach the area MP, MCA, or the county department. And as I told you, all these offices have a threshold to meet of 30% in tendering. And they don't meet because there are no youths who go there to get these opportunities. So once you have your documentation, go to the office. I'm sure because the SC is here and he is very close to Honorable Caleb Mule, I know you can help the comrades here who would like to supply some of the NCGDF to the NCGDF projects, and we can support them with the LPO financing. Then we also have asset financing for those who want to get an asset. You want to purchase an asset, like tuk-tuks, the example that I gave, or you want to set up containers to let to other people. If you want to purchase any asset, we also do asset financing up to 70%. Then in terms of labor export, I know that it is an issue now. It is an issue that is it's very contemporary. Currently, there are young people who are applying. They are being recruited to go to Qatar. As Youth Fund, we support. We understand that the government's main priority is to create jobs locally. But if the jobs are also available externally, and young people are interested to go there, Youth Fund supports up to 300,000 Kenyan shillings to the young person so that they can work on all the documentation that they need to go and work abroad. We also do pre-departure training for the young people who want to go and work abroad and they have gotten an opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's clap for her. I'd love to move very fast to James Maina, Mr. James Maina, Director National Housing. And I'd love us to be surgical. I'd love you to tell these comrades what opportunities exist in the affordable housing program. Just specifically, I know, we do not know whether it is Seneca or who said that it's the older who advise the young. Allow me to actually just ask specifically the opportunities that exist for comrades in the housing program.
Comrades Power. Thank you. I'm Director Housing in the State Department for Housing, not National Housing. So I would like to correct that. However, let me say that the affordable housing program is not something that has been born out of the blues. It's a program that has come through many years and of course within the development of our country. Okay. First and foremost, let me start by saying the future is urban. There are no two ways. Data that available with us locally, internationally, indicates that not only Kenya but all the world, we are going to be living in urban areas. Of course, Kenya, we are behind compared to the rest of the world, but we have one of the most urbanizing trends worldwide. And it is expected by 2050, 50% of our population will now be living in urban areas. However, the most critical thing is that when our people come to urban areas and those who are born, they don't live in adequate housing. They live probably in formal settlements or what we normally call slums. To the extent that almost over 50% of our population in urban areas are living in slums. And this is what was seen by Kenyans when they went to vote for the new constitution in 2010. And they created Article 43 that makes housing a right and obligates government to provide adequate housing and ensure every Kenyan, every citizen has access to adequate housing. And of course, to localize this agenda, in 2024 March, Parliament and President assented to the Affordable Housing Act. And the Affordable Housing Act now is the act that gives us the mandate to provide housing for Kenyans. And this program of affordable housing is an ambitious, transformative as well as very revolutionary, because it not only aims to provide housing, but the challenge of that housing is an opportunity to create other opportunistic benefits that goes together with housing. And one of the major ones is job creation. Let me say, the shortage of housing to date, over the cumulative years that the government has not been working on housing from 1992. From 1992, there was introduction of something that was called structural adjustment policy. And they said, World Bank, IMF, told us, government has no business in investing in housing. What did we lose? We lost jobs, we lost manufacturing, and we lost cumulative development of adequate housing and reasonable housing as contained in our constitution. And we have 2 million houses, almost 1.8 to be exact, that has been cumulative. The private sector was left to develop housing. The private sector has only been developing 50,000 houses. And out of 50,000 houses, only 1,000 units are affordable. I pause there. The demand is 250,000 every year. So what is the shortfall? Very simple mathematics, 200,000. And this is where the opportunity lies. And this is also where the challenge lies. The challenge lies in the provision of affordable housing, 200 units every year. And the opportunity lies, if you develop 200,000 housing every year, what are the opportunities that are you likely to get? What are the number of jobs that are you likely to create? And it's very simple arithmetic. Direct jobs, 3 to 5. Indirect jobs, 10 to 15. Arithmetically tells you this is what can be done. It means 200,000 multiplied by 10, you can create 2 million jobs if you achieve that. And this is what the government intends, and this is what the government is currently doing through the affordable housing program. And it has created a fund through a levy of 1.5% through income and through salaries to the individuals, employees, individual citizens, as well as 1.5 to the employers. And that creates a capital fund that can be available now to fund housing. And it is kept very well through the Affordable Housing Board. And that money, once it is collected, goes directly to the fund, and it is only set aside to be used for affordable housing. And what is this affordable housing all about? The affordable housing is for the provision of affordable housing, institutional housing, and association, social, and physical infrastructure. Let me first of all go to the institutional housing. The institutional housing covers Section 2 of this Act, defines what institutional housings are. Institutional housing includes 1, student accommodation; 2, housing for civil servants, housing for police, and housing for prisons, and housing for our defense. If you look at that category I've mentioned, the students' population currently, which is almost 1 million, the university student is 462,000 enrollment by last year's data. TVET, TTI, TVCs is allowed 408,000, again on the same data. And out of this data, and you tell me if I'm wrong, only a small percentage is accommodated within the university premises. One example we have is the University of Nairobi. It has a student population of 50,000. And out of 50,000, only 10,000 are accommodated within the university. And what is the resultant factor? I know you are the wearer of the shoe, and you know where it pinches most. They are either accommodated at cheap housing that are not conducive for learning, that are insecure, or probably very expensive. When we went to do public participation for Affordable Housing Act, I was lucky I was heading the team that was in Machakos here, in Machakos Social Hall. One thing the parents told us: we will accept this affordable housing program if you accommodate construction and development of student hostels, because our students, our children, we are spending too much money to pay fees, but also to accommodate them in school. And we are always not secure where they are living. And that's what we did, and we told Parliament, let's accommodate institutional housing as well as student accommodation. And what have we achieved so far? So far we have put in our budget 180 TVCs across the countries, 182 to be precise. And we have put 46 universities in our budget. We have started this development. We have started in TUK, where we are doing 2,000 hostels. We have started in Nebu, and we'll be here in KMTC and the Machakos University. In terms of housing, currently we have been able to achieve 124,000 houses under construction. And within these 120,000 houses under construction, we have created jobs that were not there, more than 160,000 jobs which have been created. We hope once this program is clear of taken, we'll be able to create 1 million jobs. But to you as students, there is some direct benefits, and they are in two forms. Number one is internship. For us, you know, every time you apply for a job after leaving school, and it's not only you who have faced it, it is even us when we left school. The first job you find, 10 years experience, 5 years experience, and the biggest question that everyone has been asking, And even as we ask the same question. Now me, I'm just fresh from school. Where am I expected to get a job, to get experience? I will need a job to get that experience. And this is what we are offering. Within the affordable housing program, in all our construction sites, we are taking student internship and attachments.
Mr. Director, thank you. I believe that they are quite, the comrades are just imbibing the wisdom that you have been spilling. And still on the same point, on the opportunities of comrades, probably I would want to digress it a bit to Madam Magdalene Kithi. And I visited Samburu some time back, and I saw a beautiful girl somewhere. And you know in Samburu they pay dowry using livestock. So, sorry for deviating, but what opportunities exist for comrades in the livestock industry? We have been told of the opportunities of the internship that will be provided in the national construction, in the continuing of the building of the affordable houses. But for livestock, what opportunities exist for us comrades, and how can we benefit from the livestock industry? Is it just for the old schools, or is it something that the comrades, even those of us who are doing financial engineering and not veterinary medicine, can benefit from?
Thank you very much. Good morning, comrades. I'm happy to be here to have this opportunity to meet the representatives of comrades from Lower Eastern. My immediate job was dealing with students, so I am very passionate about students, and I'm happy that you have this forum to learn. Now, I'm from the State Department. I'm in the State Department for
Please put off the rest of the mics so that they
Yes, the State Department for Livestock Development, is in the Ministry of Agriculture. And as you all very well know, that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. And it is not only the mainstay of our economy, but without it, we cannot be as shiny as you are. I'm sure you have, when we have our food on the table, it is not balanced. We don't feel happy when there is as the young people, maybe you are asking me, what can we do in the livestock sector? You don't have shambas. Maybe it's your parents that have tracts of land where you can keep animals. But there is a lot that the young people, you can do. You can invest in livestock production. You can get income. You can contribute in the GDP of our country. So there are enterprises in the livestock sector that do not require large tracts of land and that you can endeavor in. And as I said, agriculture together with livestock contributes to a little over 12% of their economy. And it is one of the government flagships to achieve Vision 2030 through the better economic agenda. I'm sure you all know, we are aware of the bottom-up economic agenda. So in the livestock sector, we have the key projects that the government is promoting or is working hard at achieving. We have the dairy sector, we have the beef sector, and then we have the leather development, okay? Leather from hides and skins that we get from animals, okay? So there is so much that you can do. On top of that, there is a lot of demand locally and internationally for livestock products, okay? The country is exporting meat to the Arab countries and other countries. So even in the local, or rather in the country, there is a lot of demand. For example, there is demand for chicken, yeah, especially indigenous chicken. The government has come in to promote the germplasm, the genetics, improved genetics of most of the livestock enterprises. And so when you venture into, or you want to venture into enterprises that are related to livestock, you can always get improved germplasm so that you can have a profitable venture. So as I said, for the young guys, you don't say that you don't have a shamba. You can rear your chicken. You can rear your improved chicken. There are various breeds of chicken that you can rear for meat. Some are reared for eggs. And with a high demand, you don't require a lot of land. Just a small piece, and then you get the feed. So you can endeavor in such, and you get income. There is pig production. Then we talked about the dairy. You don't require a large tract of land to raise a dairy animal, okay? And then we also have dairy goats. We have beef goats that you can do. And you, of course, we are not telling you only for yourself. We are giving you this information so that you also pass it to the community. So there is no reason for saying that, of course, the jobs, the white-collar jobs are few. But the livestock sector, and especially the Ministry of Agriculture, it is here to appeal to you that let's not get fixated about the white-collar jobs. Let's get our hands dirty a little bit, and then the money will come flowing in our bank. So as I said, we have the poultry sector, the chicken, we have the pig industry, we have the small stock, that is the goats and the sheep, then we have the dairy. The beef is usually reared in expansive lands, but you can, yes, you can still endeavor in it. So what is the government doing to promote all this? So as the livestock department, we are in charge of regulation, we are in charge of the policy making, so that when you go to rear your animals, when you source the feed, you get quality feed. Yeah? When you want to sell your product, the government is involved in making a market. There is infrastructure, making of the market infrastructure, so that farmers can easily sell their products. Okay? So, for example, we have KMC, Kenya Meat Commission, across here. You can farmers can sell their animals there, and then we get money. So this, I know Lower Eastern, Machakos, Kitui County is one of the ASAL areas where we have challenge of livestock, climate, rainfall and all that. But we have ventures that you can venture in livestock production, and the government is also promoting the sustainable use of rangelands, which are usually suitable for livestock production. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At least Madam Magdalene has told us that livestock for Comrades is not just for dowry. It has got much more than that. So Comrades power. I need a proper response. Comrades power. We are in a UDA event. One of those things I need to remind you is that in UDA, tukisema UDA unasema kazi ni kazi. Because I'd like us to talk to the guy from the National Employment Authority. And that is the anchor of why UDA exists. So nikisema UDA unasema kazi ni kazi. Na nikisema kazi ni kazi unasema pesa mfukoni. Like I said, we are UDA unapologetically. Hello? UDA. Kazi ni kazi. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Sasa nataka pia tukisema Comrades unasema power ya nguvu ama unasema UDA ya nguvu. Mnasema ile iko na udhaifu sana. Niko Machakos kweli? Unajua kuna kitu inaitwa wavinya, vinya, as in pahali pa nguvu. Si ndio? Hello? Comrades power. Tuko salama? Sawa sawa. So, Mr. Kerkich. I think I got that right. From the National Employment Authority. Baadaye ukimaliza utatuambia Kerkich means what. Semara management, please. Sort us on sound. Semara management, kindly sort us on sound. We are having a little bit of problems with audio. So, Mr. Kerkich, I'm saying once you are done, first of all, telling us what the National Employment Authority does and how Comrades can benefit. I'd really love you guys to just focus what you do and how Comrades can get help and services from you. And then you can tell us what Kerkich means. Because Kermi is Luo, Kich looks like it's Kale. So, tutaongea baadaye, but let's start from what can Comrades get from there.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person is serving customers.
This number of Kenyans with these specific specializations. And by doing that, we will be able to get as many jobs as possible. Recently, you remember the president went to Germany and he was able to secure some jobs and through bilateral labor agreements. In fact, one of our key role is to come up with bilateral labor agreements, and which is normally signed by the CS Minister of Labor. So it's our work as the National Employment Authority to initiate the bilateral labor agreements, then it's signed by the CS Minister of Labor. We've got a job portal, which is www.nearims.go.ke. And probably maybe some of you are not aware of that, but now, at least through this forum, you will go out knowing that there's a job portal called www.nearims.go.ke. I was doing an analysis of the jobs that are available, I think 3 days ago, and we've got over 500,000 job opportunities from various countries, ranging from Australia, Kuwait, Denmark, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, many other countries. And we've got over 500,000 job opportunities, which are there for you to apply. Just like the peers say that it's you to take a step to do what? To apply, to register and apply for those job opportunities. If you do not do that, my friend, comrade, you will not get the job. The job will not come and look for you. You have to initiate by registering and applying. I hope I'm communicating. You have to take a step by registering and applying. These are job opportunities that are normally sourced for by the various recruitment agencies. And someone I know will be asking, where are these job recruitment agencies? Which ones are legit? Which ones are not? All those agencies are listed in the portal, and you can easily know which one is legit and which one is not legit. If you go to the portal www.naims.go.ke, you'll be able to search. Just type the name of the agency and you'll be able to know whether that agency is licensed or not, whether the license is valid or not. You'll be able to get the information. So it's upon you to register.
Thank you very much. It's 11:55 or slightly over that.
Allow me to just say one thing. Apart from being employed, comrades, you can also be owners of agencies, which you can now be have your own self-employed. That is, we are also giving you that opportunity to register to register an agency so that you can be an employer of your own and you make even more money. A number of agencies that are registered now were actually workers who went outside the country, maybe even as house helps, but they came back with money and they have registered agencies and they are now making good money. So it's an opportunity for you also to do that. Still allow me one more minute.
I'll allow you another round during the question session. I wanted Professor Machuki to speak to the universal health care, but as he picks the microphone, I'd love to remind you that we are also having this conversation online. Conversations nowadays go beyond halls. So follow this conversation, contribute to it online. Hashtag UDA Machakos chapter. UDA Machakos chapter. Hashtag UDA Machakos chapter. The keywords are UDA town hall. We are here. All of you have got smartphones. Piga selfie. Sema uko hapa. Usijifiche mpaka watu wakuonee kwa TV. Pia sema uko hapa, kuna kitu unachangia na hizo vitu zingine zote. Let's have this conversation running online. Sawa, you can tweet, you can retweet. Have this conversation going. Comrades power. So, Professor Machuki, it's 11:57. I'd love comrades to ask questions at exactly midday. Chief, but I can give you an extra 3 minutes. So that then by exactly 12 or 5, you are done. On Chief, it's so much around. Please help us.
Thank you, moderator. It is very encouraging to engage audience that have one key resource that gives them comparative and competitive advantage, and that is intellectual capital. In this hall, we bring these conversations because this is where intellectual output is very significant and required. On she, Sha, and the whole conversation around it, I'll want first to pick the strategic intent of His Excellency the President on universal health coverage. In the better plan, you will find this strategic intent running through. What is the intent? One is to institutionalize politics, coming out of individual, tribal-based politics to issue-based politics. Number two, democratization of the economy. Many a times, the economy has been in the hands of the capital owners at the very top of the economic pyramid. Bringing this conversation to the youth who have to deploy their innovative intellectual output into converting ideas into business opportunities at the very bottom of the pyramid, then moving towards making everybody part of the conversation in matters to do with economy. Number 3, entrenching constitutionalism. And that is why public participation and all other aspects to implement the constitution are very key. So these principles anchor the main priorities in the better plan where UHC comes in. Cost of living has been very high. The focus is to bring it down. Unemployment issues have been raised here, and we want to talk about ending unemployment. Inclusive growth and enhancing the revenue base. The pillars that can have quick turnaround in those priorities is agriculture, and it has been highlighted how agricultural transformation, both crop production and livestock, can lead into increasing exports, reducing food imports, and ensuring that there is food security. Universal health coverage is at the core of the 5 pillars. Of course, affordable housing is among the others, micro small enterprise development, and digital superhighway and the creative economy. Those form the key pillars of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda that is spearheaded by this administration. But you will also realize that in that plan, you have enabler sectors, manufacturing, ICT, good governance, you have climate change and education, as well as one of the things that have been very much talked about, women agenda. Now, let me very quickly start on this core pillar, universal health coverage, by asking a question. How many of us have registered into SHA? By show of hand. Very good. Not a significant number. But when you get into SHA, that is the point of entry that you provide information for purposes of you starting to consume the services of the Social Health Authority, but most importantly, on Social Health Insurance Fund. I will come to that, but let me give you a very synoptic account of how health reforms in Kenya have led us into universal health coverage. In 1965, we had the establishment of the National Hospital Insurance Fund that was focusing on access that was so limited to coverage, insurance coverage, to those in white-collar jobs in the public sector. In 1996, reforms were then introduced to change, instead of National Hospital Insurance Fund to National Health Insurance Fund. But still at that level, we then brought on board individuals who would contribute into the fund, and including those in the informal sector. In the year 2004, we have what is called Social Health Insurance Fund. So, what do you note in those 3 episodic changes is that there is the insurance fund at the end. What is changing is from national hospital, then there is national health, now we have social. Now, take a note, at that social health insurance, that is where we have universalization of access to quality health care. How is it possible? it was established that the main concern in access of quality health care is one, the commodities, that is the drugs and other health equipment like the x-rays and so forth. Number two is about the facilities themselves. Some of these facilities are in the management of the county governments, and the Constitution 2010 devolved healthcare system in Kenya. Number three is about governance. The resources that used to be contributed by payroll workers and individual contributors, the governance of that fund through NHIF was found to be problematic. Now, in advancing the issue of universal health care, government has, through various legislation, ensured that everybody accesses quality health care by way of enhancing financing, by way of ensuring that the issue to deal with the governance is dealt with, and by way of ensuring that the facilities where this health care is accessible, is accessed, are of high quality. Now, Madam Moderator, because of the sensitivity of this matter, allow me to then take them through a simple synoptic journey for them to understand why some of these issues are raised and how they can be addressed.
Prof.
Number one.
Just a moment.
Yes.
We are way past the time we had actually afforded you, and I know this other side is actually itching with questions. So
thank you. Let me focus on SHA.
You do it in just 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Social Health Authority is an institution that has been established to replace the National Hospital Insurance Fund. And in this authority, you now have 3 funds that Kenyans are able to access health care. The first fund, where Kenyans are finding themselves mixed up, is the Social Health Insurance Fund that has been made available by enacting an act of parliament called the Social Health Insurance Act. In this particular fund, Kenyans are supposed to contribute. How? Those who have been contributing to National Health Insurance Fund continue to contribute, but at a rate that has been now formalized at 2.75% of the gross income. Those in the informal sector, there is what is called mean testing instrument that gives the level of income on the basis of which 2.7% can be calculated. At the point of registration into the Social Health Authority, the information you give gives you the means testing rank that then tells you how much you are supposed to contribute into SHA, into SHIV. So, if you have not registered and given the information, then you cannot be brought on board so that you can continue accessing the services. Number 2, the Social Health Authority is responsible for onboarding medical facilities, health facilities, both public, private, and mission. There are 2 processes. There is empanelment by the regulator, and then there is contractual engagement. The Social Health Authority is supposed to contract the public as well as private and mission hospitals. So, if you go to a facility that has not rendered itself for contractual engagement with SHA, then the facilities or the services may not be available. But all public facilities are on board to provide those services. So, the challenge in accessing the services is first, Kenyans have to register, provide information that will then determine their level of contribution into SHIV so that they are able to access the health, the services in the various facilities. You remember that the community health promoters, 100,000 of them have already been launched, and they provide care at household level, and they refer any patient to level 1, level 2, level 3, and at that point, government capitates those facilities to provide the health care. As you progress to level 4, social health insurance fund sets in. As you graduate into level 6, the critical health, the critical illnesses fund sets in, and that is fully capitated by government. So the confusion between SHA, SHA is the authority, and SHIF is the fund that is insurance-based, contributory-based. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ushers, please take your stand. There's someone I want to talk to, and because I've realized most of my speakers are not behaving on time, I'll stand here. This one is called Brian Higgins Mbugwa. He's our Deputy Executive Director. He was once young. I'm not saying you're old. So I'd love him just in 2 minutes to actually tell us the role of young people in politics. Just in 2 minutes. That's why I'll stand here.
Thank you very much. I'll stand here. Comrades, power. I'm not a politician, but I'll give you a few advice. Number one, for you to be in power, you need to organize. And during Gen Z protest, the young people are saying they were leaderless, formless, they were just amorphous. And as our constitution is structured, for example, there are special seats for young people, persons with disability, and the marginalized. And most of them are allocated to political parties, not independent candidates. So you can go by as independent, you capture seats, but it's only political parties that can nominate those special categories of individuals. So as young people, I advise you to join political parties and organize from within political parties. And one thing that I've heard from the panelists and what we've been getting feedback from the various Comrades chapter that we've been into is quite clear. For example, during our time, during SG's time, university placement was based on a bed capacity. So people had to wait for 1 year, 2 years before they join universities. So you people are privileged at this point. But then the current president, when he was the Minister for Higher Education, said, do we have to wait for bed capacity to increase, or do we admit more students? Then we have a better problem of solving the accommodation issue, rather than wasting an entire population for waiting for bed capacity to be up. So those are the questions that you should be asking some of the policies that are in place. Some of them might not be popular. For example, most people are telling me housing ni ya watu ya mjengo, which partly is true. Majority ni watu ya mjengo, but the engineers, some of you are studying engineering, they are surveyors, kuna wale driver wa lori huko nje, cement factories ziko na managers wenye nyinyi mtakuwa, wale watu ya mawe, kina Mulili wanakata mawe huko. All of them depend on that. And also, kwa hiyo site ya mjengo, kuna wale wa mama wanauza chakula hapo, and they feed their kids from that. So, if you look at the broader aspect of the housing, the ecosystem is so large that it's not just kwa watu wa mjengo. Hata nyinyi mkimaliza shule, wale structural engineers, surveyors, quantity surveyors, mtapata hiyo kazi. So, on the issue of e-employment, watu wanasema mnapeleka house girls huko nje ama nini. But let me challenge you. I saw the other day that the candidates sitting for KCSC are almost 1,900,000 and something thousand. From statistics, it's between 20 to 25% who make it to the cutoff point of C+ and above. Another percentage goes to technical college and tertiary education. And then there's a large percentage that their qualifications end at high school level. So if you ask clearly, those jobs that are out there, zenye mmesikia tu za house girl, maybe ni hizo kesi umesikia mtu amepigwa Saudi Arabia, but there are so many jobs out there. And when we were building this manifesto, we went round the country and we got feedback from most people. And the president realized one thing. There's the issue of diaspora. And most of the Kenyan diaspora were second, third generation. And you find your auntie went to the US 20, 30 years ago. When he was fresh in the US, he used to send money back to the country. But now, they got kids of their own in the US. So they stopped the remittances. But now these fresh people going out there, they still have ties locally, and they will be able to remit some remittances. So I was telling some young people, oh, you know, this government has brought the dollar down. Then they asked me, dollar inani affect aje mimi? Mimi natumia Kenya shilling. And I laughed. Maliba has told you, how many people have smartphones here? By show of hands. How many smartphones are manufactured in the country? Very few. So that's how dollar affects you. Ikienda juu, bei ya simu inaenda juu, bei ya mafuta inaenda juu. So stabilizing the shilling, it benefits you directly. So, as comrades, you need to challenge these people intellectually, going beyond the populist. Lastly, somebody posted the other day that Niko Town CBD, duka zimefungwa. So economy is doing bad. How many people here shop online? How many? Both for food, for items. So what will happen to the shops in the next 10, 20, 15 years? If they do not adapt, they'll become obsolete. So if you see the shops closing, ask yourself, what about the online shops? What about those Uber Eats? I'm sure, SG, when was the last time you entered into a banking hall? Kitambo sana. Because access to finance has been digitized. So please tell people to digitize and to adapt, so that you don't post a photo of shop closing and say economy is bad. Tell them to adapt and go to where the people are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Quite an easy way of wrapping it around. So questions. I'd love to remind you that we only give you an opportunity to ask one question. You are 500 of you. If you ask 10, others will not be able to talk. For a comment, I can give you an extra minute. I'd love ushers to actually, if you are ready to go, you're good to go. So your name, the institution, and your question or your comment. Please stand up. Okay. Since the microphone is problematic, allow me to use mine. Simama tu, utatumia yangu, mimi na hii tutatumia tu.
Good afternoon. My name is Motulu from Kibwezi West constituency. The whole country right now knows Kibwezi West. Mine is a question about housing. There has not been sufficient information to do with housing, especially now that housing was meant to be for low and middle income earners. I think UDA as a party as numbers in the parliament, and you really saw what happened some weeks ago. You can use our numbers to come up with something like a Rent Relief Act, right? Where renters who who pay rent, especially the middle income earners, we come up with as legislation to help them, right? And then a comment. Just give me time, my friend. A comment. As young people, I want to pick from where Madam P.S. left. Madam P.S. was talking about mental health. As young people, we've been branded as a generation that believes it is either our way or no way, or the highway. It is the high time we change things. Many battles since independence, and even in developed democracies, many battles are won in boardrooms rather than in the front line. When you've been called by the president for a dialogue, just show up. Being in the front line does not get you a trophy, burning roads, destroying property. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone who remembers his name? What did you say your name is? How many of you remember his name? Ebu rudia jina.
I am Mutulu. M-U-T-U-L-U. Thank you.
Mutulu. Okay. Please, just come here. We have got one mic, so you'll understand. You'll be a little bit chap. I allowed Mutulu a little bit of time because he was the first one. Please, let's stick to the rules so that we get moving.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Achalo Mark Tyson. I come from Homa Bay, but I study in Kitui. I'm the student leader, the president of Southeastern Kenya University. If I check this list, where it is? First of all, it is a request. The second paragraph, the thesis statement. This initiative aims to create a platform where university and college students can engage directly with the ruling party, with the ruling political party, allowing them to share their concerns, ideas, and aspirations. So mine is just a request. Southeastern Kenya University has a vast land, and I think in Africa we are third largest, kwa ukubwa. And our students are facing a lot of problems in terms of housing. And God willing, we have the director for housing here. I think you will get to hear that. So please, when you are considering other universities for building the institution housing, consider Southeastern Kenya University located in Kitui. And then another thing, also a request. Currently, our students are facing a lot of problems in terms of help. Being in the second paragraph, you said you will help universities and colleges to meet them at the point of their need in terms of ideas and concerns. So please, plead with the help guys to release the funds to our comrades. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd love to go to the other side. In short, they are saying the ministry should transact. Let me pass. Kindly.
Good afternoon.
Raise your voice, please.
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm Victoria Mweni. I'm the former academic secretary, Machakos University, and the graduate, nimegraduate juzi tu jana. So my question goes to the person who talked about the new funding model. I was doing Bachelor of Commerce, and I was paying 14,000. And the second years and first year, the household, the 5% they are going to pay, the 5% is 21,000. Help me to understand how I'm going to talk to that student to understand the new funding model is fair enough for the student, because I was paying 14,000, she or he is paying 21,000. For me, a comment to the new funding model, what I can say is that you can increase the bands so that we can satisfy the needs of the student. The 5 bands are not enough for the student. So let us increase the bands to be able to accommodate all students according to how the parents are being paid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody in the middle here? I think we've not. We were in the middle here. Let me go at the back. We'll be back. Okay, there's a working microphone here.
Right, I go by the name Miri Juma from Kitui, currently a student at Egerton University. And my question is, how does the party, when I'm talking of party, I'm referring to UDA, how does it ensure that the youth representation reflects advanced backgrounds and perspectives? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in here? I'll be back. So that then we do not get incest in the same place. So many guys. Anybody in on this line here? There was somebody in front there. Please come.
Thank you. My name is Obadia Kiplagat, Mamangina University. To our SecGen UDA, I would like to our SecGen UDA, it's a request to the government, now that it is the ruling party headed by the president, that we are asking our peers and our leaders here about what is the ministry having for the youth, So we are requesting that we have youth in these positions so that they understand our problems directly. For example, the ministry headed by by our able minister, Murkomen, former senator, we should have given that position to somebody below 35. So it's my request. Number two is on grassroots elections. I've had a name and somebody in charge of grassroots elections update us on grassroots elections. Personally, I applied, I paid some money, and we have not had any updates so far. And lastly is the bursaries that are being given by government to the MPs and so forth and so on. If they were combined together, I think it will get to an amount to give free education, because they are a lot. So something should be done about the same. To touch on bursaries, these are ruling party. It should be having good transaction. We can also create a bursary portal and from UDA directly to the Comrades so that we apply and get something. Thank you.
A clap for him. So I'd love those questions to be responded to. Then we come for round 2. Before they respond to the questions, I wanted the ED to come, because there's a question that actually pertains to him directly. The question, I think, by the lady at the back was on how does the party ensure that nominations factor in, youth nominations actually factor in youth from diverse backgrounds. This one. So that you respond properly. Nominations actually factor in youth from diverse backgrounds. I know you are not necessarily old, but you are not also not very young. So you have got experience. You are in a better position.
Maliba, you know how to gauge the age of people. Good afternoon. Now, first of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. You guys have been amazing. You are quiet and you are attentive, as Maliba said. How many of you are UDA members? SG, the people who sit at the front are only UDA members. The rest of the back are wondering what UDA is. Do you have a phone? Do you have a phone? Please let's go and do something. We can register as UDA members. Sindio? Because what I heard today is that when we said Comrade Power, you said UDA. Sinikweli? Comrade Power? Comrade Power? So can we register as UDA members? The reason why we are UDA members is because the ideology of UDA is what you transcribe in. You know, when Madam PS talked about leaderless and headless and something Gen Zs, you know, government is run by parties. Are you aware of that? If you are a member of UDA, you can be able to challenge the policies of UDA within the government. Sindio? Just like you are members of certain universities, you are a member of, did I hear Mamangina University? Did I hear of Machakos University? You are going to talk about Machakos University if you are in Machakos University. Sindio? You cannot talk about Machakos University if you are in KMTC. Sinikweli? So you only talk about UDA when you are in UDA. So it is only wise that we become members of UDA so that your chapter in that university can challenge government policies within that UDA. Sinisawa? So if you have your phone, please press *509#, and from there you follow the instructions and register as members of UDA. See you, Nisawa? We are doing grassroots elections. Somebody has asked about grassroots elections. Among the 20, we have positions. We have 20 positions at the polling center. Among the 20 positions at the polling center, we have 4 youth representation. 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen. So we don't discriminate where you come from. We just pick the number of, if you win in your category of the youth in the polling center, then you become a member of delegates at the ward category. In the ward also we have positions of the youth, and so in the sub-county, which is the constituency, and the county. So in matters of nomination, we have taken care of the youth. In the national elections, we have positions for the youth. And each, for example, at each county, depending on the number of seats that we've won and the number of votes that we voted, then you can be given nominations from that county. For example, in Machakos, did we have any youth nations for women? You know, we did what we call gender top-up, and in gender top-up, we pick the women who are youth. Are we together? And also, we have the category for PWDs and the youth. So, among the county, we have categories for the youth, and at the gender top-up also, we have women who, for example, if in Nakuru County, the number of men supersede the number of women, so that we meet the 2/3 gender rule, the women are given what we call the gender top-up. So among the gender top-up is the youth that we consider as a party. And you have also seen in the national government, the youth have been given position. The Minister of Water is a youth. Sinikweli, he is below 35 years. So I think as you are advising the president, you can just swap Murkomen with water, and the water guy becomes Minister of Youth, and then we'll have solved that problem. Thank you very much.
Obadiah decided to impeach the Minister for Sports and Youth. So I'd love to go to housing. You had questions that I'd love you to respond to, but because of the mic, allow me to give me mine.
Thank you. This is a very good concept that you have brought, rental relief, because when you have rented a house, the landlord will still ask you for money, and this is no more serious like during the COVID-19. A few landlords were giving their tenants some relief, others won't. But if this is registered, that's true, it can be something very, very important. But let me take this opportunity to introduce to you how to own a house in the affordable housing program. We are in Machakos. Our first lot of affordable housing in Machakos are 220. They will be handed over in December. That's the completion date. The contractor currently is allowed 85%. He's doing the finishes. We are expecting him in the next few days that are remaining to December. He'll be able to hand over. These units, you can access them simply by registering to our online platform called Boma Yangu. Boma Yangu, you don't need to know anyone. You just need to dial 832#. You start the home ownership journey. You save star 832#. You start your home ownership journey. The registration indicated there for 200, you still remain your money. You pay, you choose the house where you want, you choose the various typologies, and then you start your home ownership journey. The program gives ownership by purchase directly by cash. We have units of low income, low cost housing that cost around 840,000. That's the lowest level, and you pay rent to own 3,200. You can opt to pay cash, or you pay over a long period of time spread across 30 years. And the program allows you, as you grow older, as your family grows, you can transfer that unit, get a bigger unit, or transfer the unit. Maybe you have transferred to Mombasa, you take your house, and I usually like saying this. It has never been possible for anyone to transfer his unit to one town to another one. But you can walk with your unit from Machakos to Mombasa. How do you do so? Once you identify a unit, you surrender the unit in Machakos, you identify the one in Mombasa, you transfer all the money that you have paid, and then you get another unit. All our units are the same price across the country. They are subsidized with low interest rates of 3% for the low cost housing, and for the medium house at 6%. That has never happened. Currently, the interest rate goes from 18% to 20%, impossible to own. That sorts you out in the short term and your load journey and the long term as well. Yes, the affordable housing program is also addressing student accommodation across the country. I've checked on my phone. We are later put into a budget 1,200 units for Southeastern University. So you are there. And we have across Kitui, Makueni, and Machakos over 54,000 rooms, no, 54,000 beds for student accommodation.
Thank you. Dr. Machuki, Professor Machuki, she asked, she paid 14K and now for the same course somebody else is paying 21. Please help her get the rationale.
Thank you very much. Congratulations for your graduation. Join the journey into growth and being included in this conversation. Ideally, it tells you that the Madam Mweni is a consumer of the differentiated unit cost. She has graduated on the old funding model, where the actual cost of the program was not a factor in funding university education. That is one. Two, in what she did not disclose is what was the cost of that BCom program, and under the time she was taking it, and what is the current cost of the BCom program the actual cost has been costed by the university where she graduated from. But ideally, this is what then was a challenge. The universities used to receive capitation based on the differentiated unit cost across different programs. Currently, the new funding model, the actual cost of the program is determined because in that cost is the quality of the deliverable from the university. Second, the household contribution is based on the actual cost, while what she was paying was actually being subsidized by government through capitation based on a cost that was not the actual cost of the program. So, I can also give an example. Omar Hassan here and myself went to the same university, and we used to pay 8,000 shillings as tuition for all the programs. That is what will be capitation. And then the rest of the money we are given as loan, depending on your level of need. You used to receive 18, I used to receive 40. So this thing never started today. He was receiving 18, I used to receive 40 because I was from a poor background, he was from a well-off background. But but now, and that is the only moderator, the only mistake which in quotes that this administration has done is to make these things transparent, that the level of need is what determines your funding, and it follows the student, and it is based on actual cost of the program. So the answer to Mwen is this: the 14,000 was based on the differentiated unit cost, which was not a percentage, it was just arbitrary, and it was based on the differentiated unit cost. The 21,000 is empirical, based on the actual cost of the program, and it is highly subsidized by government through scholarship, because it did not also tell us whether her sister or her brother is in which band, so that it is clear. But 5% is from the most vulnerable, and that is most subsidized by government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam PS, I had questions from young people here, specifically wanting to know how they get into government. You've run before. You are now in government. Will you tell them the opportunities that exist for them as young people, specifically for those who want to be in politics, so that then we don't go back to that? I'll be going back shortly for the next round, but I've had people ask that, and since I know you've walked that journey, you will be in a better position to do that in a minute or two.
Thank you very much. Just to bring you into perspective, in my policy class, in my master's class, I was told you cannot separate politics, and development. I'm sure maybe you have heard the same and you know. So the moment you brand yourself a politician and forget the aspect of the professional you are, you start to lose it. Because as a schooled person, as a learned young woman, whether I'm not very old, because I don't know what young people you're looking at in this government, and I think this is the first administration to give young people opportunity to serve. And you know, these positions are not just because you want to be represented. There's more into that. Is the leadership, is the policy position. So what makes you that person a leader is looking for? So I did not get into politics because I had nothing else to do. I thought I can bring a difference in the people of Kaiti. And number one is because of involving yourself objectively in what is happening in your area and in the politics of the day. Because that now brings you into the perspective of where we are going as a young person. And then you show up. So, and I didn't have money, the other thing, before you, and I didn't know many people. So don't look at, who do I know to get myself into this? So I just got into the space. I decided to bring a different kind of a leadership to the people of Kaiti. And decide how. Why not try this path which is not walked by majority of young people? And I went for it. And the UDA party gave me a ticket to, of course, after doing what most of us do in this region, of what we call Kokwito, Chamakelakito, Tiwa. But then, I was too small, too young for them. That is the other thing you need to know. And the only place I got an opportunity to vie is in UDA. But then, I don't just come out as a politician who has no clue of what is happening after the politics. And that is how I got an opportunity to serve. So show up because you know what is happening. Be that person who stands out and understand the current issues. And when you are given an opportunity, you are given a role to play, do it at your best. So the opportunities are there, but I told you, you must get yourself out of the milieu, out of the crowd, so that, because we have so many young people in this country, if UDA is looking for 2 representatives in the party, a male and a female, what will make the leadership remember you out of the so many young people we have in this country? And that has to be there. I liked the young girl there. That is how you start. Talk. When people ask for questions, be the first one. Even if you didn't hear the question, ask when you're already standing to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I'll be bringing in at least the SG. I want you guys to hear his voice, but I'd love to give the panelists, a few of them I know who have not responded to, then I'll come back to you. SG, tulia tu. Nimeona umeanza karibu usimame. So, but then I think the PS insists on one thing. Woody Allen says that 80% of life is showing up. Showing up is what God was doing with people in the Bible. No one was called to do anything who wasn't doing anything. Mungu hakuwahi chukua msana kula njaro. You must be doing something. Everybody who was called to do anything was doing something. Hello? Kamala Harris has told us that mama yake alikuwa anasema, don't just sit there, do something. Sawa sawa. So before I bring in the SG, I'll also ask Joshua Arabsang to also talk to us. But then, from there, unajua sisi ni watu wa kazi. Kazi. There's something you are supposed to say as you respond to that, because I think there are issues around work. I don't know if you have got a microphone ama nikupatia yangu. Is there a mic that we can actually use on that end? You had a line you wanted to finish. I'd love you to actually just finish that in 2 minutes. Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I think basically what I wanted to say is that in this region, we have got an office within Machakos here, if you are not aware, where you can be assisted to register as a job seeker, and registration and application for employment is free of charge, absolutely free of charge. Most agencies who recruit actually do facilitate, pay for your recruitment up to the time where you go to the destination country. And I'm glad that the Youth Fund have confirmed that they can actually even provide some loans to facilitate the processing of employment to go and work outside the country. Apart from that, Comrades, we can also do online work. Online work pays. At the comfort of your seat, you can earn a lot of dollars. So let's also embrace online work. Through the Ministry of ICT, as the PS had mentioned, the Ministry of ICT are setting up digital apps whereby we can go search for jobs, register for as job seekers, apply for jobs, or even do the online work. So let's utilize the infrastructures that the government has put in place. Finally, I want to recognize my colleague who is at Machakos. If you can allow maybe him to stand, to wave, so that you can know him. He's called Geoffrey Mukendi. He's the one in charge of, he can mention the location of the office.
Thank you for the opportunity I've been given. Also in Machakos, we have the Kenya Labor Migration Resource Center, which is situated at our office opposite KWS Machakos. You just pass to do the next to the Minister of Agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, in case of any challenge, you can always call the toll-free number, which is 0800 222 223 for assistance in case you have a challenge, whether within the country or outside the country. Also, through the NEA IMS portal, you can forward your issues through the portal if you have a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've just realized that nimeona kuna waheshimiwa hapa hivi, and when the ED was asking if we have got some of our waheshimiwas here nominated by UDA, simameni, tunajua SG atawapatia hiyo space, lakini msalimieni tu watu waone mko area. Si ati tunapiga story, wako hapa tafadhali. Then in a minute, Sharon is actually part and parcel of the Executive Council for the UDA Comrades chapter. We as UDA actually acknowledge that we have got young people we are working with. So, Bade, you've been working with us for a few months. What is government doing for young people? Ile yenye umeona tunafanya, roho safi usidanganye.
Okay, number one, it's the great launch of the UDA Comrade chapter. With this came with the fact that the government really wants to engage and to listen to the youth, like directly through the ruling party. The other thing that I have observed for the past few months that I have been there, it has included us in policy making. Students from different universities have been included in the new funding model committee. Yes, that's what I have observed so far. Ile ya kujionea.
Hiyo ni roho safi. Sasa. So quickly, Madam Faith Nora, on youth fund. Ambia comrades some of the ideas they can actually just run with in 2 minutes.
Comrade wisdom. Comrade wisdom. No matter how tall your grandfather was, you must do your own growing. Form ni kujituma, comrades. And we have provided all the opportunities that are there. I don't want to belabor myself. Mine is to just challenge comrades, take advantage of these affirmative action programs that the Kenya Kwanza government is fronting for you to play a key role in nation building. And I also want to request SG, after all these regional forums, if we can have one more national comrades forum, and at that time, I want to take a register of which comrade chapter has the highest uptake of the youth fund products. I've already shared. So from the previous engagements that we've had, I've seen there is really very good proposals. Some of the proposals that we have received, there is a SACCO that has been formed by a fourth-year student in Kisumu, South Mugirango Farmers SACCO Society. And with that, we have already taken up their proposal. We are going to give them 1 million Kenyan shillings for them to work with young people who are in who are engaged in pig farming. And we also have some other ideas that other young people have already brought on board. We have content creators who want support with equipment. We have another group from Uasin Gishu that wants asset financing. And I'm challenging you here. If you have an idea, don't sleep on it. Come to Youth Fund. Let's commercialize it. You must do your own growing. Thank you.
Asante. Madam Magdalene, you are in livestock, yes, but specifically as a policy person. Sometimes we make policy look like it's witchcraft, like it's too difficult a conversation to have. As a policy person, do comrades have space in the policy making area? In just 2 minutes, then I'll bring in Joshua. I have got a question for you. You na ni vita kidogo tutapigana, then let SG.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as the young people in Kenya, when we are formulating policy is usually for the populace, and we usually do it through public participation. So wherever we have stakeholders and public participation, we usually call on young representatives, and yes, usually have a role in policy making.
Thank you. Joshua, director, kuja. Daka moja tu. Chukua hii microphone. You know, Joshua comes from the office of the government spokesperson as a director of public communication. On top of your head, nataka tu uambia vijana nini serikali, sisi kama serikali tunawafanyia nini? Unajua by the way sisi ni chama, sisi tuna our own. So tuliwatuma, nini mnafanyia hawa?
Wisdom. Wanaita nini? Comrade wisdom.
Wisdom.
No matter how short you are. Oh man. So there are many things he's doing. I just wanted first to answer one question that was asked about youth in the government. We have the youngest minister for water, Eric Mugaa, at 34 years. He's a youth in this government. We have the youngest, yes, wildlife, yeah, Sylvia Museya, yeah, around 33 years, just a youth. And we have also another one for culture and heritage, Umar Bashir, young person. This government is considering and giving opportunity to the young people of this country. Yeah? So, what was the question?
Anyway,
I had my own question to answer first. So
as in,
yeah.
Top of your head,
yes.
What are some of the programs government is doing for young people?
So many.
Because
so many.
you speak for
yes.
government. Yes.
Yes, so many. There are many programs the government is actually undertaking for the youth of this country. Many has been elaborated, especially by NEA and even the housing. Opportunities for you guys are there. There are many. Employment. Even as we talk now, there are youths who are being interviewed today to get some jobs somewhere across the republic. Because as you know, as it has been said, the government can only consume around 1 million people because of civil service in Kenya. So the rest mnaenda wapi? Tukipata hizo majuu, tuende tu. Twende na zingine ziko mingi ambazo tunapata. So there are many, as I don't want to repeat because somebody actually said that. But we have as youth online jobs. When you go to Jitume Center now, in every college, there is a Jitume, and the government is make sure that it is there. Jitume Hub. Jitume Hub is a place where you can learn as you work. Online jobs inside. When you have a computer government giving to you, there is free internet, you get your job. NEA is here. He has said, you just go there for those 500 jobs. They are there. You just apply those ones first, and then the others, government is creating a cross for you to do jobs online. We have been working around as Office of Government spokesperson, and I can testify that in most of the colleges, like Arvis, we went there, people are working. Youths have done some online jobs. They have dollars. They are paying their own rent. There are even others have started businesses because of those online jobs. Others Also, when you close school, you go home there, every constituency, the government is making sure that we have a digital hub in every constituency. Where there is internet, there is computer, you go there and start working. When you want to apply for anything, if it is SHA, you can go there, apply. When you want to do online transaction, there is their computer that government has given to you free of charge, internet free of charge for you. Just get there, do some work. There are many, many, many good things happening in this government, and it considers one of them, because the government is ruled by a party, or a party is ruling a government. This is one of them. What is it doing? Engaging the youths to get what you need, to understand you, so that those things, our SG here, will take to the party, through the president, and they will implement what you want. So they are giving you this time to engage one-on-one. The president has engaged you online. Kama penye muko online, alikuwa kule. Akawa na nyinyi. Baada anakuwa universities, anakuja kwa town halls kama hizi. So he is there. So I want to say, we are doing a lot, but because of time, let me end there. Thank you.
Thank you. Director says, however short you are, the government will listen to you and it will hear you. As in, who am I to actually doubt that? If director says that. Hello. I'd love to bring Professor Machuki, but you will give me a minute. There's somebody I want to actually have to talk for a minute.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate our panelists and the opportunity which the party has given us to continue engaging with the youth. From my tribe, we are told that there are three major problems which a man can face. A man can face a problem which can be sorted by a chicken. Nguku. A man will face a problem which will be sorted by selling a goat. Mbui. A man can be sorted out if he sells a cow. My friends, I am today challenging you, young people. Get engaged, get involved in economic activities. You know, back during our days, we schooled. After that, we got jobs. But you have opportunities. I've listened to our panelists here discussing about economic activities which can come from farming. As people from Mukambani, I would want us to take that opportunity to get into those small ventures. A second point is that we've seen many people, many young people engage in the government. And I want to correct the notion that there is negative sentiments towards the government. What is available is the realization that people can engage the government, that people can demand for accountability. When the president was campaigning, alisema, we want to transform the agenda of hustlers. We want to get them to discuss. So I'm encouraging new people from Ukambani na wale wengine wametoka elsewhere. Do not shy away. Participate in political processes. Do not be afraid of taking the local bull, the local political bull in this area, to demand as much as you are demanding for accountability from the national government. Also demand for accountability from the opposition of the local area. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Professor Machuki, in a minute.
Thank you very much. I want to complement what Arab Sang said on the question on what government is doing. And I want to enumerate a number of those interventions. One, on agriculture, government has come up with different value chains that create jobs along the agro-processing and the micro, small, medium enterprise development for the youth at the very lowest level. There is catalytic funding that is available called the Hustler Fund. I've just read somewhere here an African proverb saying, for a cat that aspires to grow into a lion, it must lose appetite for the rats. Right? For a long time, we have been in bondage, having appetite for fleaser, having appetite for digital lenders that have been predatory, and we have been having concern. How do we get many of the youth out of that predatory lending? The Hustler Fund is celebrating its 2nd anniversary, and we are moving into providing other products that are available. And therefore, one, in agriculture, government has done a lot, and that is why one of the priorities is lowering the cost of living. All these people here are the benefits of that intervention. Let's be factual that government has lowered the cost of living. Secondly, the catalytic funding, the Hustler Fund, has benefited many young people. Number two, the micro small enterprise policy that was launched, and government is pumping in a lot of effort in ensuring that micro small enterprises are supported. Many young people are in that space, and there is evidence. Number four is about what was mentioned here, and I want to underscore it, the internship program. Government has expanded that internship program to all the young people who qualify and have graduated from universities, and you are given that program. Lastly, the Teacher Service Commission is getting on board 56,000 teachers. Many of them are those that have graduated, and that is a program that no other government has ever committed into getting teachers on board to ensure that they bridge the gap between the students and the teachers. Then on on this aspect of the universal health coverage, the many opportunities that arise in community health promoters. Many young people are in that space because the entire of the health sector is moving into a digital platform, and that is where impact is gonna felt. So there is quite a huge package that has been delivered to young people. The only thing that is there is for us to be able to appreciate, understand, and then communicate effectively to all those who think that government has not focused on interventions that focus on young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd love to bring in the SG. And I promise that I'll give you a last round of questions. I will. At 1:30, we will leave. But then allow the SG to come in. There are other people he can introduce. There are other issues he can speak to better than anybody else.
Asante sana. I will stand here for a minute or two. Comrades, power. First and foremost is to appreciate this extraordinary audience on my behalf and on behalf of the party. I actually stood here to come and ask Mulili. This is probably one of the most engaging forums we've ever had, and the quality of questions and the patience has been high. I'll tell you my own story. One day, we had a demonstration. And in that demonstration, we did an entire circuit in Nairobi City. And we did not even kill an ant. Hata ile mdudu. The Kenyan police at that time said, leo tumeweka peace, lakini vijana walikuwa watulivu sana. The national intelligence at that time said, those are people you must watch. They have focus. When you see people coming into an arena and engaging constructively, those are the people to watch, not those ones who try to create drama. So I wish you all here in this conference and in this town hall the very best in your student life and beyond that. Secondly, this party is led by former student leaders. The governor of Embu, Cecily Mbarire, and I, way back
in 2021 met on the streets of Nairobi, her as the deputy president of the student organization of Egerton University, and I as the president of what we used to then call chairman of Moi University Student Organizations. Together, we formed a student union called Kenya National Students Union. And our first initiative was to engage Mwai Kibaki in his revolution against the 4 years of Moi's rule. And indeed, Cecily and I led the student aspect and the youth aspect of the Kibaki campaign. Today, her and I are in the leadership of the United Democratic Alliance, the ruling party in Kenya, and we felt our little obligation was to bring the young people of this republic right into the center of politics, right into the center of policy making, right into the center of the UDA, so that together with you, we can be a factory which manufactures ideas and policies for our government. When we went to President William Ruto, he gave us his absolute green light to engage honestly and to the extent reasonably possible. Because this is not only the future of UDA, it is the future of this country, and in this we also have the present and the future of the Republic of Kenya. To divorce Kenya from ethnic organization and politics, and to ensure that we bring Kenya into a forum of policy conversation. That's why today, since morning, you have been talking about the new funding model, about housing, about employment, about the financial inclusion, about all manners of issues, but none of you has spoke about his region or his tribe, because we don't eat regions, we don't eat tribes, we eat policy, we eat what government has in terms of the outcome of our policy formulation and execution. So, to finalize, make sure that you have ideology like ourselves, so that you are not overtaken by biology. You will eventually grow old. The only thing that will keep you relevant is not your biology, it is your ideology. That's why when we talk about creating an institution, an academy for the UDA, it's because we want to be an ideological party that in your entire life you look at how the academy and that ideology has met government policy, and to that extent that we've been able to achieve those ideological aspects. Now, hii bottom up is probably the best revolution of our times, because we want to put the people at the bottom, at the center of economic inclusion. That those who have had more must allow others also to make a living. Those who have more must pay more. And those who have nothing, the government must intervene to ensure dignity of all Kenyans, in healthcare, in education, in other social aspects, including in our housing aspects and programs. Kwa hivyo, as UDA, our message is one. We will listen to the people, and the wake-up call has come from none other than the young people of this republic. We will pay attention to our people, and we're asking the leaders and various state functionaries who deal in various policy formulation, they must continue to keep close to the people. Listen to the people, pay attention to them, and ultimately keep close to them. Because they say politics is a game. That's why wengine wanaruka huku, wengine wakaruka huku. But the best definition of politics I've ever had was from one of the best women leaders we've ever had in this generation. The former Pakistani Prime Minister, Benazir Bhutto. She said politics is not a game. Politics is a romance with the people. To understand them, to share in their triumphs and tribulation, to show compassion. And state compassion only comes when you offer dignity to all the Kenyan people and all the people under your care. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to assure you, we will continue with the youth participation that was talked about. Age and ideology must go hand in hand. Unaweza kuwa wewe ni kijana mdogo lakini ni mwizi kuliko kila mtu. So that you might have age but no ideology. But you can be that person of fair age but you have still burning with your youthful desire to achieve a better Kenya. So therefore you will also get a platform of expression and participation. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio ukweli ya mambo. If we don't intervene as a country, if we don't intervene as political parties to create public education and public forums, the internet will intervene for us and create makeshift ideological formations. The internet will, Netflix will make you feel that it is more important for you to be gay or to be given rights to be gay than for you to feed your families. That is where the world is headed. Those of the West are telling us to appreciate things like gay rights, yet they don't tell us how we can put food and shelter and do the basic dignity issues on our people. Badala ya kufund social causes, badala ya kufund water programs, badala ya kufund education programs, they come here and fund gay rights activism so that every Kenyan has a right to make a choice. The only choice the UDA party has for its people is to better the quality of our lives and to better the future of our nation. Kwa hivyo, kumalizia, I am very encouraged for those who've asked about the grassroots elections. The grassroots elections will definitely take place. There have been some intervening circumstances, from the youth agitation to part of what we are doing right now so that we can have a new deputy party leader called Kirudro Kindiki, to many other aspects that we have to undertake. So as we stabilize government and remove the arena of toxicity, to remove the ethnicity, to remove the mediocrity, and put in professors of political science, of law, to make sure we are a law-abiding country, we will now stabilize our political environment and ensure the UDA and you young people in this country goes to the next level. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to thank all of you, the panelists who are here. These men are not lords unto us. They are servants unto the people. Men and women. Wajua katika Biblia na katika Quran, Mungu akisema men amemaanisha women. Kwa hivyo, I'm grateful to the young lady who's taken the courage. I remember the first time I was given a microphone at Kamukunji. Baada ya kusema Moi kitu fulani, sitaki kurejelea sahihi because nimekuwa mzee kidogo. Idea zote ziliisha hapo. But I can tell you, you are courageous to go through this whole session. And to you who are policy makers, Professor Machuki, PS, my dear sister Terry Mbaika. Terry is one of our most formidable PSs. She has managed to ensure that we streamline the county assemblies and moderated their budgetary expenditures so that they can focus on development and representation of the people. For that, I believe one day, and not too far away, in the next election, the people of Kaiti will know you are the natural choice. I want to also thank PS Maina. He has been a formidable aspect of this program from the very beginning to now, and as we progress to the future of this program. And he has given us ideas. He is the man and one of the centers of the affordable housing program, the dignity issues in this country. Nataka kushukuru National Employment Agency, ambaye pia leo amewakilishwa. Nataka kuwashukuru my dear little sister, Faith Nora Lukosi, ambaye amekuwa akisema that her challenge to you is by the end of this circuit, how many of you, through her and through their local offices, will have taken facilities for self-actualization. Natuma salamu pia kwa rafiki yangu Jonathan Mweke, a long-time friend, an ally. Once upon a time, me and him were in the same party, Wiper. Now again, we are in the same party because we are looking for government. We are not looking for the opposition. Tunataka kuingia ndani ya serikali. Send my love to him. Send my respect to him. Wajua sisi mara nyingi humfanyia dhihaka. Katibu PS Livestock anaitwa katibu wa mifugo. Kwa hivyo mwambie rafiki yangu katibu wa mifugo, sisi hapa sote tumekuja na tumesherehekea na tumefurahi kuwa katika hichi kikao. To the many of you, as you go back home, because I will not stand again, I wish you journey masses. I wish you the very best in your lives. I am sure one of these fine days, not too far in the future, one of you, some of you, through this chapter, will make president of this country, cabinet secretaries of this country, prime cabinet secretaries of this county, governors of this country, and many other political positions that you will hold. Na vile vile, you can also become secretary general. Ukafikiria mimi nataka kuwa secretary general mpaka siku hizo. So those of you who are asking about grassroots elections, hata hii kiti ya secretary general is up for grabs, kiti ya chairperson iko up for grabs, kiti ya organizing secretary iko up for grabs, na organizing secretary anatoka hapa kutoka maeneo Eastern. Anaitwa Kawaya. Kawaya. Na huyo ndio rafiki yetu, ameniambia in person that he is not able to be here with us because he is also the chairperson of the Energy and Petroleum Committee, na kuna mambo tunawatengezea ya mambo ya energy. Kuna mambo ya G2G ili tupate kawi ama LPG at a much cheaper rate, na Kawaya sahi yuko at the final phase of ensuring we implement a robust program for both energy and petroleum to ensure Kenyans have access to these basic commodities at affordable and accessible price. Kwa hayo mengi pia tunamtakia Kawaya the very best. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to thank you all and God bless you all.
Hiyo makofi sio ya SG. Tafadhali tupige makofi ya SG. I'm going to pick 3 last questions, one here, and the other one on the other side. But as you prepare, ushers, please take your stand. I'd love to bring Madam Mary Mutinga to come here. She's in the National Elections Board, and even as we speak about matters election, kuna watu wanasema walilipa pesa, sijui imechelewa. I'll love you in a minute. Useme tu pesa yao iko sawa, kura iko na chama iko imara.
Comrade Power. Kwa majina ni Mary Mutinga kutoka Lower Eastern. Mimi ni member wa National Election Board, and I'm happy and delighted to be here with you guys. And I love you all. I want to answer a question from the president of Lower Eastern. Where did he go? About elections. Yeah, he was asking, he paid for the money, and he has not gone for the elections. I think SG has explained thoroughly and said the elections were not done because of some issues, but we are coming there. I just want to assure you, the elections that we did, we only did for 5.
Well, live from Machakos County, that is the UDA Comrades Chapter Eastern Edition, an initiative by the ruling party whereby they have been trying to incorporate youth from different universities into leadership, an initiative that has been happening for the last couple of weeks, and that marks the end of today's session that is happening at Machakos County. But this is time for news. However, let's go for a quick short break, then we'll be back with more information for you for the next 30 minutes or so.
Radio 47, kituo cha watangazaji wenye haiba.
Mama Taifa Eva Mwalili walinge washindi and it can never be otherwise.
Bonge la radio msikilizaji, mimi ni chairman wako naitwa Alex Mwakideo. Captain Emmanuel Mwashumbe.
Mimi naitwa Mkamburi Chigogo anti wa Mado.
MC Jaffe ama Abule.
Mimi naitwa Manucho.
Always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
You're going to do
This is TV47 News Now. You're right in time for the 1 p.m. news coverage. My name is Samson Jura and I'll be a reader this afternoon. And we begin. As the KCSE exams continue, tensions are high at the Dedan Kimathi Boys High School in Nyeri County, where parents have protested over what they described as unfair treatment of their children by the school's administration. Parents allege that candidates were sent home 2 weeks ago for unclear reasons despite the critical exam period. The parents also claim that students were expelled late at night, allegedly for causing disturbance, and were then charged 9,000 Kenya shillings for damages, a fee they refused to pay, arguing there is no evidence justifying the cost. They are now urging the Ministry of Education to intervene in that situation. In response, the school's management board chairperson stated that discussions with parents are underway and they expect a resolution soon.
We as parents were called here today because our sons were sent away 2 weeks ago. Our sons are in Form 4. That hurts so much because as other students prepare to do their exams, sisi wetu, they've been sent home. Reason why? There was unrest in school. Unrest that could have been contained. And this is not the first time that the students have been sent home. In Form 4, just a few days before KCSE. Now we wonder what's the fate of these students if they're going to be sent home every few days or a few weeks to national exams. What precedence that set? So we are angry. We are here to fight for the rights of our children, not only ours, even those ones that are behind our students.
Mwalimu ama principal amekuwa na intimidation. Ya pili, watoto wetu aliwafukuza weni wako tayari kuenda kufanya mtihani 2 weeks ago after mtihani. Ya tatu, alifukuza watoto ikiwa ni saa 1 ya jioni, which is very bad. Watoto walilala nje, wengine wakalala kwa ronjini, wengine wakasikwa na polisi. Hiyo ndio hasira tuko nayo kama wazazi, na that's why tumekuja na tumekasirika.
The next day we were called, a message came and they said that we should pay 9,285, which is for the damage the kids caused, but we were never told before. So after like a day yesterday, as we are supposed to come today on 24th, they said we should pay 4,200.
Elsewhere, police shot and killed a suspected transformer vandal in Makongeni, Thika, and injured several others during a patrol operation. The officers, acting on a tip from Kenya Power, responded after reports of a blackout in the area. Kenya Power's Chief Security Officer for the Northeastern Region, Dominic Nduto, praised the swift police response. He noted that Kiambu County alone has lost around 25 transformers valued at 25 million shillings over the past 6 months.
Walikuwa katika hali ya patrol wakati walipata report kutoka control room ya Kenya Power. Kuna blackout within Kangoki area. Hii area yenye tuko. Walikuwa naendelea na hiyo kazi, wakatani kuwa violent. Officers walikuwa shift enough na wakaweza kupiga mmoja risasi. Tunaamini kuna wengine wamepata majeraha ya risasi. Tunaendelea kufanya search.
We have been working with our emergency teams, and anytime we are able to detect, whenever there is a blackout, we are calling our customers to be able to reach us so that we can be able to see whether the vandals are already on our lines, so that we are able to stop them.
Moving on, members of the Barina Self-Help Group are asking the government for protection to allow them subdivide and settle on their 4,803-acre land in Solai, Rongai sub-county. Speaking in Nakuru, the group members shared their frustrations over being unable to settle on the land, even after the Environment and Lands Court ruled in their favor nearly 3 years ago. The group's Secretary General, that is Mwati Kariuki, mentioned they have received 6 court orders for settlement rights since 2006, but say security agencies have not upheld them.
Mimi naitwa Richard Ongoi, koti merud, turudi kwa shamba. Tumejaribu, lakini kuna wenye wanahusika wachache wanatuwekea kizuizi. So mpaka leo hatujaingia kwa shamba. Kwa hivyo tumepanga, tunarudi pale, tuende kwa mashamba yetu. Tulikuwa huko ni Monday, tukajenga nyumba na walirudi wakapomoa hiyo nyumba yetu. Hatujui nani alipomoa.
Paul Julius Mwati Kariuki ndio majina yangu, na mimi ndio secretary wa Barina Self-Help Group Land Project. Court orders ambaye zote zimetolewa, wale wanahusika na kurudisha sisi huko kama security people ndio walikuwa na shelewa. Na sasa kuanzia kesho kuendelea mbele tuko huko na watu wetu. Over 700 people watakuwa huko. Iwe nini ama nini, hatuwezi poteza 85 million. Hata kama ni nani aseme.
Kwa majina ni Tabiza Muzoni Kahozia. Hatuwezi kuhangaika na tuko na serikali yetu. Tuliharibiwa kila kitu. Hakuna kile kitu na tulikuwa tumejenga. Na sisi tumekuwa wasa tukifuata hii shamba.
Anaitwa Furesi wangu Ikang'ethe. Na sasa tunataka kurudi kwa shamba yangu sababu nimelifa.
Nikiomba serikali yetu iko na nguvu katika nchi yetu. Itusaidie agarao niende nirudi huko, nilete hawa watoto, nikiwawasa maana sangine nitaenda niwaase wakiwa ni wapi wanakaa.
On to some matters health now. Busia County, in collaboration with the TB Implementation Framework Agreement (TIFA), has launched a health initiative aimed at reducing TB spread among cross-border traders and travelers at the Busia-Malaba entry points. A free 5-day medical camp is underway, offering screenings and assessments for TB, hypertension, HIV, and diabetes. The county TB coordinator, Mary Asayong, stated that around 16% of cross-border traders are at the high risk of contracting TB due to their working conditions.
A good number of samples are at the lab for processing, so we are still waiting for a number of results. We've had a total of around 170 sputum samples being taken to the lab for investigation. So as we speak, we only have 10 results, out of which 2 are already positive. So we are still waiting for more results from the lab, for which I believe we'll have more being diagnosed with the TB. And we also plan to link after we have their results, because we are picking their information details, as in up to the contact, residence and the telephone contact.
And Lamu business owners are anticipating a surge in sales with the arrival of the passenger ship HS Diana, which docked in the historic port city this week. The ship brought about 120 tourists eager to explore Lamu's cultural treasures, including artifacts, traditional clothing, and local cuisine. The port has become a key gateway for boosting tourism in the area. After their Lamu visit, the tourists will proceed to Mombasa, picking up additional travelers en route to Zanzibar.
Kwa huu muda hawa watalii watakuwa hapa, tunaamini kuwa watu wetu wataweza kupata biashara, watanaweza kunufaika kutokana na wageni hao.
Hii meli sasa inaanza kuweka Kenya kama one of the destinations, and ikitoka hapa inaenda Mombasa, inaenda kuchukua cruise kutoka Mombasa ambayo inaenda nao. Hiyo ni kuonyesha kwa kwamba sisi kama Kenya sasa tumefika katika lengo ya kimataifa, na hii biashara ya cruise tunajua kwa inaleta faida sana katika nchi. Hawa cruise wakija hapa, unajua pale wanaishi ni kama hoteli, wanapewa chakula, nini, maji, kila kitu. Sasa hiyo ni biashara kubwa sana katika nchi na kwa watu wetu kama wa Kenya.
Tulikuwa tumepokea hiyo meli tena mwaka uliopita, na wakati huu nashukuru kwamba wageni wamefunguka sana. Kando na hao ambao tumepokea siku ya leo, wageni wengi sana wako Lamu sai, wanakuja kujionea utamaduni wa Lamu na kuona kujivijali katika Lamu County.
And rice farmers in the Bunyala irrigation scheme in Busia County and Lower Nzoia in Siaya County are being encouraged to diversify by planting additional food crops to boost their income and food security. The Principal Secretary for Water and Irrigation, Ephantus Kimotho, highlighted the need for improved market access and road infrastructure to help farmers maximize on profit. Budalangi Member of Parliament Raphael Wanjala echoed the call, urging farmers to focus on diversifying as the government works to secure markets for their produce. Farmers and stakeholders welcomed the initiative, hoping it will improve livelihoods in Busia and Siaya counties.
We are, as the State Department and the Ministry, we are very keen to ensure this project is a success, matters production. So far, just like Boshua said, when he started, he never knew that this project would be very impactful. But now later he's actually come to see that, and I must say that we're confident that, as Engineer Kabuti earlier said, that this is one of the biggest irrigation schemes that we have.
Msiulize market, na nitaongea na mbunge wenu. Nataka aleta hapa basi 3, abebe tu watu, abebe tu hapa watu, basi ngapi? 3, apeleka hapa Busia, na msimame tu Busia kwa barabara na mna hivi. Yaani zile lori mnaona zimebeba watermelon, zimebeba nyanya, zimebeba miwa, zimebeba mihogo, zinapeleka Nairobi, Mombasa, zote zinatoka wapi? Uganda. So ni nyinyi kazi yenu, limeni. Lima, watu wale wamenunua lori ziko si hapa zinakaanga tu zimekaa na mna hivi. Tunataka zikibeba, zingine zinaendea Kisumu.
Another project that will support the farmers in the lower irrigation scheme on a PS is the NAF CDP. It has allocation for the same. And from your end, I know you are negotiating for the CAPDIP, Kenya Agriculture Business Development Program, that took over from SSP. PS Busia is one of the 23 counties promoting rice.
I think we are at a situation whereby maneno ya value chains imezungumzwa, hatutaki sasa mproduce rice na ikose wapi, ikose soko. So that is one key. Will also be with the support of the peers. Tukisonga mbele, we also going to encourage hata wale watu investors private wakuje pande na waweze kuinvest.
Still on matters farming and livestock keeping, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock has identified 450 feedlots across Kenya to boost livestock production. The 5,000-acre feedlots are located in 23 arid and semi-arid lands. Counties will address feed shortages, water scarcity and disease management, enhancing resilience for livestock farmers. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru has more on this.
At the ongoing livestock marketing engagement in Naivasha, organized by the African Pastoral Market Development Platform, the Director for Livestock announced that the government has established feedlots in Wajir, Baringo, Kitui and Meru counties.
The government funded feedlot. This is where we are looking at 5,000 acres, where inside there the government goes in and puts livestock production facilities like fodder production, water management, disease management. The net effect of this is you encourage the neighborhood communities to bring their animals there for better finishing and fattening.
Harrison Mogo, the Assistant Director for Livestock Marketing, emphasized the importance of supporting farmers by providing information to improve livestock production and marketing.
We are importing probably to the tune of around 30% from our neighbors. It goes through the porous borders because the pastoralists are able to cross from one country to the other. So when a pastoralist from Tanzania, from Somalia, brings his animals to Kenya, maybe to access water and pasture, at a time you will require to sell those animals. You will not go back to sell them in Somalia or in his mother country.
He noted that 75% of the meat produced in the country comes from the arid and semi-arid lands ASAL, which is insufficient to meet local demand.
Although we have an export market, which is usually certified by the people who are doing commercial ranching and feedlots, majority of our livestock, which now comes from our pastoralists, and it's used for local or domestic consumption and market, is not eligible to access the other market.
The government aims to assist farmers in increasing animal weight and sales revenue. This initiative will involve the development of infrastructure such as water pans, boreholes and dams to help reduce losses, particularly during the dry seasons. Revised guidelines and improved access to quality feeds through feedlots will significantly enhance the livestock sector and product marketing.
They have to be more in expos and fairs for the livestock trade. They need to comply with the export standards for livestock, particularly in Kenya is willing to extend their private sector exportation more to the Gulf and North Africa.
Reporting for TV 47 from Naivasha in Nakuru County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
Thank you, Willie Dennis Njiru, for that report. Now, the African Association of Jehovah's Witnesses now says that it is deeply concerned about the continued human rights violation of Jehovah's Witnesses in Eritrea. The association says that despite their long-standing commitment to peaceful worship, Jehovah's Witnesses have faced severe oppression, including arbitrary imprisonment and harsh living conditions. Recent reports reveal a troubling escalation, with authorities raiding a peaceful gathering and imprisoning 23 people, including vulnerable members of the society. Human rights advocates are calling for urgent action from the Eritrean government to restore dignity, dialogue, and freedom for these faithful individuals who seek only to practice their beliefs without fear.
See, I think we already explained what the program is going to be. We're going to give a statement, and then Dorothy is also going to give a statement, and then we have a colleague also in Banjul who's also going to give a statement regarding this report that we are releasing today. Yes. October 25th, 2024, today, marks 30 years since Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki signed a decree that revoked the citizenship of Eritrean-born Jehovah's Witnesses. Since then, Jehovah's Witnesses in that country have faced arbitrary imprisonment as well as relentless oppression in every facet of daily life. At least 7 witnesses have died in.
Away from that, community health promoters in Matete, Lugari are raising concerns over delayed salary payment from the government, urging officials to speed up disbursement. Despite facing multiple challenges, the healthcare workers emphasized their commitment to supporting their community. The initiative, launched 2 years ago, has yet to receive the necessary logistical support, further complicating the ability to deliver essential services to residents.
Kwa ground CHPs hawapati. Na kazi kwa ground, mama akipata mimba ni ya CHP. Huyu mama asipoenda clinic zaidi ya mara 8. Wewe CHP unatafutwa kwa ground uulizwe mbona huyu mama haendi clinic. Mtoto akizaliwa ni wa CHP. Huyu mtoto asipoenda clinic mpaka afikishe miaka 5 apate chanjo zote. Wewe kama CHP utatafutwa huko kijijini uulizwe mbona huyu mtoto hajamaliza chanjo zote za clinic. Na sasa sisi tunauliza serikali ya national government kwamba stipend ya CHP iko wapi? Wakubwa wetu wa ministry wanasema hawajui ofisi ambayo inalipa CHPs.
Tulisikia serikali ikitangaza kwamba imeallocate 3.21 billion ya kulipa CHPs 1107. Hii pesa inaenda wapi? Kwa sababu tukiangalia kwa woli ya CHPs Kenya nzima, tumepata kwamba kuna CHPs kutoka huko Turkana, Kwale, wapi kila mahali Kenya. Wanalalamika tu, si wote wanapata pesa. Hata kuna county ambayo wanasema kwamba hawajui pesa ya national inafanana namna gani.
On to some business news now. The Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry, KNCCI, is encouraging more micro, small and medium enterprises to join the chamber to benefit from strategic partnerships. Speaking in Mombasa, KNCCI Mombasa Chair Abud Jamal emphasized that businesses are struggling by operating independently and could thrive by collaborating.
Wasihi wafanyabiashara Mombasa, unajua biashara huwezi kufanya ukiwa peke yako. Lazima ushirikiane na wafanyabiashara wenzako, lazima ushirikiane na washirika dau na all other partners ili muweze kukua pamoja. Ukikua na ukiendelea kukuza biashara ya mwenzako, ndio na wewe unaweza kupata mapato zaidi. So nawasihi sana wafanyabiashara, usikae peke yako, usiumie peke yako, usiwe mnyonge peke yako. Kuna vyama vingi vya wafanyabiashara, lakini ikiwepo Chamber of Commerce tunaweza kutembea na wewe na kuhakikisha kwamba huachwi nyuma ama usijihisi mpweke.
And our primary objective is to grow these street vendors from where they are to formal traders, so that there is that linkage between them and the financial institution. They can be recognized. So that bills try now to avert that one.
We want more Ugandan products to come to Kenya, but we also want Kenyan investors to go and invest in Uganda. And there is no better place to find all these than the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which has areas taking care of tourism, trade and investment.
Let's get sporty now, where Kenya's under-17 women's football team, Junior Starlets, received a warm hero's welcome at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport this morning. Fresh from the ongoing FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in the Dominican Republic, the team made history to become the first Kenyan team to participate in such a feat. Boniface Kimanzi was at the airport and brings us the following.
Junior Starlets landed at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport early Saturday morning, and they were welcomed with songs and dances. They received a heroic reception after marking history at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Dominican Republic. Coach Mildred Cheche and her squad are the first in Kenya to win World Cup game after beating Mexico in Group C.
Tungependa kusema
Sisi na Mexico, ndio Mexico ilikuwa timu poa sana. Maybe for their side walikuwa wametu underrate, juu waliona game ya kwanza tumepigwa, ya pili tukapigwa, na si tuku lose hope.
Junior Starlets are also the first Kenyan team to score 2 goals at World Cup through Valerie Nekesa and Faith Wasike.
Experience hapo Dominican ilikuwa poa sana. Though teams hazikuwa rahisi, but the experience was nice. We really enjoyed na we did our part. Tulijaribu venye tunaweza mpaka penye tulifikia.
They are also the first Kenyan team to clinch the Player of the Match award at World Cup thanks to Lona Faith Wasike.
Si under 17 the first team kupeleka Kenya World Cup, and pia I know kuna under 20 pia next year of which wanaenda kucheza hiyo World Cup, but sisi pia next time ikikuwa hivyo tutatia bidii tena to qualify for World Cup. At least tushapata experience, exposure huko hivyo maju. Tumeona venye teams ziko na tumelearn 1 2 3 things, and tunajua tukirudi next time pia sisi tutaperform, hatutatokea kwa group stages.
The team also impressed scores at the World Cup, and reports indicate 4 players are likely to end in European clubs.
England tulimit now first match. Game ilikuwa rahisi, like si wote tulikuwa tumejipanga, but ukiangalia experience yao na experience yetu hakuna penye zinatoshania, au like wamekaa pamoja, wana grow pamoja, wako club same, like most of their time wana spend kwa football, na sisi ukiangalia hiyo time kidogo ni mnapata ndo mnaitwa camp, mnakuja together ndo mnaanza preparation.
Welcome to our heroines, Junior Starlets. Reporting for TV47 Sports, my name is Boniface Kimanzi.
Thank you, Boniface Kimanzi, for that report. Now, moving on, the International Olympic Committee President IOC, Thomas Bach, visited the legendary Kipchoge Keino at his home in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. Earlier today, Bach, who is currently on a 3-day tour of Kenya, honored Keino with gifts before joining him for a symbolic tree planting exercise. During his visit, Bach also met with President William Ruto at State House and stopped at the Kakuma refugee camp, which has produced athletes who took part in the 2024 Paralympics.
Very emotional for me to be back in the home of the champions and to see my good friend Kip Keino.
We started IOC Athlete Commission together.
Yes, in 1981. Yes, so we are on this Olympic journey for 43 years.
43 years.
Together, and we saw each other last time in Paris at the Games.
We appreciate your leadership in sports. I personally feel that you have done a wonderful job. Since we started with you, the International Olympic Committee is doing well. I feel honor and great for what you have done for humanity in this world. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and we wish you the best in your life and your family.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Finally, athletics coaches in Elgeyo Marakwet County received gym equipment this week through SportPesa's Tujiamini initiative, with coach Elkanah Ruto winning a cash prize of $500,000 shillings. The resources will help nurture new talent in a region famed for producing world-class athletes.
Tuliketi chini kama wakufunzi ama coaches hapa Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County, na tukajadiliana kuwa ni vyema tuombe bidhaa ambazo ni za gym, kwa sababu hiyo ndio changamoto ambayo wakimbiaji wengi.
What the coaches have done here is incredible, and I want to thank them, and I also want to thank the SportPesa for supporting the initiative, and this now they have the facilities.
As challenges which athletes face, it is equipment for gym. Sometimes to go gym it is expensive. An upcoming athlete, they don't have enough money to pay for gym.
Tanisaidia kwa mambo na race kama Nairobi, kama ningeenda Nairobi kwa tulichelewa kwa registration. Inanisaidia kwa niko na plan kwa race ya Kapsokwan. Tanisaidia kwa transport na mambo na chakula pia.
This is probably my 7th, 8th time to E10, and I am always very shocked that it's still the same struggles. You know, athletes that are running, 29 minutes for the 10K females still don't have access to gyms, or they don't have the opportunity, they don't have the funds to go to the gym.
Well, that marks the end of the broadcast, but certainly not the end of informing you, as we have this and much more available to you on our website at www.tv47.digital.